What's up, Comic Book Nation? BD here, guys. Hope you all had a really great and fun and safe Labor Day weekend. There was some big news over the weekend. We rounded it all up for you on ComicBook.com, but in case you missed it, that's what Comic Book Now is for. We're going to recap the top 5 stories from the weekend, the biggest stories, the biggest news, everything that you want to talk about, and then we'll do a few questions at the end. Today we're talking Aquaman, Spider-Man Homecoming, Daniel Craig possibly going back to James Bond. What do you think? Suicide Squad is still making some money, and we're going to talk about Fear the Walking Dead, of course, because you know I like to throw it in there. Comic Book Now starts now. Let's talk about Aquaman. The movie is going to start filming in Australia this December. That's right. I'm actually headed to Australia this Sunday for Thor Ragnarok, but Aquaman itself is it's a DC movie, not a Marvel movie, but it's also going to be filming in Australia. Maybe we're noticing a trend here. Our comic book movie is going to be moving down under. I don't know. Next up, we're talking Spider-Man Homecoming. Shocker was revealed. The Spider-Man villain was revealed over the weekend. Some people snagged some photos on set. We have the photos for you on ComicBook.com. They're embedded in a tweet. Bokeem Woodbine is playing the role of Herman Schultz. Now, if you're not familiar with Shocker, he's like a tech guy. He's got these gauntlets on his arms. They're pretty sweet. They create seismic disruptions, and they are so intense that he has to wear this yellow quilt under it to fend it off from himself. But he's a pretty dangerous villain. He's going to be there in Spider-Man Homecoming. And I got to say, this actually looks pretty comic booky. I mean, obviously, this is a Spider-Man movie, so we got that suit looking very much like the Steve Ditko suit. But this looks really cool. Shocker was created by Stan Lee himself. Very iconic character. But with Vulture coming into the mix, now we got Shocker. It's interesting to see that they're actually going with a look that is consistent with comic books. I know a lot of people were pretty pleased with that. Next up, we're talking James Bond. Daniel Craig was reportedly offered $150 million for 2 more movies. Now, if that can't get you to make 2 movies, I don't know what will. That is more than any NBA player, NFL player, anybody's making in 2 years. To make 2 James Bond movies, they have to film back-to-back. That's what the offer was. Daniel Craig has said he's done with the role. There were talks of Tom Hiddleston taking it on, Idris Elba taking it on. Both of them have commented on it and said that they're not up for the role right now. But the rumor is Daniel Craig offered $150 million for 2 more. Now, he's done 4 already. Skyfall, Spectre, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace. I know I really want to see him back in the role, but I'm totally open to this Tom Hiddleston Bond thing. Could you guys imagine Loki going good for the British Secret Agency? I'm totally on for it. Bring on MI6. But what do you think? Do you want to see Daniel Craig back? Let us know in the comment section. Next up, Suicide Squad keeps making money. It crossed into the top 100 highest grossing films of all time over the weekend. It's sitting at number 92, although it's sitting at 26% in reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. That didn't stop people from seeing it, though. It had a huge opening weekend with a big drop. Yes, there was a big drop week to week in the opening weekend to second weekend, but it stayed pretty steady, and it has made over $670 million worldwide. That's a lot of guap, guys. Suicide Squad just killing it. David Ayer took to Twitter to thank everybody. So, yeah, they're celebrating over there at Warner Brothers in D.C. And finally, we're going to talk a little bit about Fear the Walking Dead, which will tie us back into Spider-Man Homecoming. I'll tell you how. Chris Manoa, played by Lorenzo James Henry, he went a little crazy in Sunday night's episode. Spoiler alert, he totally shot this guy who was just trying to defend his farm. Well, we got Lorenzo on Skype after the episode. We talked all about it, and if you want to see that, go over to the Walking Dead on ComicBook.com Facebook page. I'll actually post a link to it in the comment section here when we're done. But while I was talking to Lorenzo, there's those rumors that he's going to be in the Spider-Man movie, which we just talked about. Are they true? Let's hear what Chris had to say. Before I let you go, we're ComicBook.com, so I got to ask you about this. I'm hearing about this Spider-Man Homecoming role. Dude, what's going on with that?
Spider-Man, I can't say anything.
But you're in the movie.
I can't say. I can't deny or I can't accept what's going on with that.
Dude, I can't.
All I can say is it's a great cast.
It's a great cast. Okay, fair enough. Because I'm pretty sure Lorenzo James Henry is in it.
If that's what it says on IMDb, we'll have to find out.
No. He didn't confirm or deny, but he did light up like a Christmas tree when I said, are they true? So I'm starting to think Lorenzo's going to be in Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, this could be a really small role. There have been a bunch of actors who have popped up in the cast, and they've gone on to say, oh, I'm playing a gym teacher, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, small roles. Who knows what Lorenzo could be doing if he is, in fact, in Spider-Man Homecoming. I haven't heard anything to confirm or deny that either, but from the source himself, all he had to say about it was a huge smile. And that the cast was great. I don't know. You can weigh in on that. We have a Twitter question, and we'll go through yours for tomorrow using the hashtag CBNow. So go ahead, take to Twitter as soon as we're done here. Use the hashtag. Send us your questions. I'll run through them and see what we get. What do we got today? will Infinity War be based on the Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity War storyline? Hashtag CB Now. Now, I'm thinking it's going to be based on the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, I know if you've read it, and I definitely have, it's one of my favorite comic books of all time. It's a 6-issue arc from the early 90s, I believe it, maybe late 80s. There's a lot of characters in Infinity Gauntlet that play huge roles that Marvel Studios and Disney don't have the rights to. I don't know, Silver Surfer, for example. So fans of that comic know that, but I think that there are plenty of ways that we can see the characters there that they have available to them start playing huge roles and be adapted into a little bit of a different storyline for Infinity War, just like we saw with Civil War. I mean, you didn't have Daredevil in Civil War. You didn't have a lot of characters in the Civil War comics weren't in the movie, but the movie itself was still one of the best ever. So, and I also think that the title Infinity War sells more tickets than the title Infinity Gauntlet to non-comic book fans, which is the majority of the audience. You have to keep that in mind. That was pointed out by our Jim Viscardi. We were having that conversation in the office the other day, and he just said, Infinity War sells more tickets than Infinity Gauntlet, which is totally true. I can't argue with him there. But if you guys have questions, let's get to those for a minute here. Do I think there will be a Suicide Squad 2 since it's a big success? I don't know if there will be a Suicide Squad 2. We actually kind of touched on this in one of last week's episodes. I think there will be spin-offs from this movie. I think we'll see maybe a Deadshot movie, a Harley Quinn movie. I could see a Suicide Squad 2 movie, but I think that it would be a vastly different group of Suicide Squad members. I don't know that we would see Deadshot, Harley, Captain Boomerang, and all of them coming together, because I know Captain Boomerang is rumored for The Flash, with all the rogues said to pop up in there, and Harley Quinn said to have her own movie, and I'm just vocally crying out for a Deadshot movie. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can bring all of them back together somehow in the story, because that DC film universe is already a very tangled web, only 3 movies in, and they have plans to put these characters in a lot of different places. I'd love to see Deadshot pop up in the Batman movie, and you know that DC loves to throw Easter eggs in the form of characters into every movie they can pretty much so far. So we'll see if the story will allow that to happen, or if it'll just have to be a whole new roster for a Suicide Squad sequel. Did I watch the Civil War bonus features yet? I have not. I have the Blu-ray. I was busy all weekend. I was out at Dragon Con, and I was out in Sonoy, Georgia on the Walking Dead set. So I did not have a chance to watch the Civil War Blu-ray features yet. I know there's a Doctor Strange featurette on there. There's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of bonus features on Civil War. They got the bloopers and all that stuff, which is a ton of fun. No, I haven't had a chance to watch it, though. Can you show us footage from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I don't have any footage from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We do have footage on the site, which is a promo. It's not our footage, but ABC and Marvel released a preview in the form of like a found footage promo for Ghost Rider. And if you go on Comicbook.com/Marvel, it'll be one of the more recent articles. You might have to scroll down just a little bit, but you can see the first footage of Ghost Rider right there. It's pretty exciting. What's the update on the Gambit movie? It doesn't have a director. I don't think it has a release date. It just keeps getting pushed back. The only person it has involved is Channing Tatum. And is it going to happen? I don't know. I'm kind of starting to think the Gambit movie might not happen. That's just my opinion on that. Will Rogue be in the Gambit movie? Like I just said, I don't think the Gambit movie is actually going to happen. If it does happen, I don't know. I feel like they're going to toss a whole bunch of X-Men in there in small parts. I don't think Rogue would be one of them, because she's one that they like to use in the movies, and they seem to cut her out of Days of Future Past. But I think that she'll eventually get a chance to shine, and it would not be in a Gambit movie. It would probably be in an X-Men movie, assuming more X-Men movies are announced. Let's get one last question here. What shows am I looking forward to in the fall? I mean, with Ghost Rider coming to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm hoping that show can really just get more interesting, if we're being honest. I'm obviously looking forward to The Walking Dead, seeing everybody's reaction to who Negan killed and all that stuff, and what they do with Negan. I mean, the promo that was just released over the weekend with all the Negan stuff, there's new lines and new action, shooting guns and stuff, which is not what he does in the comic books. It's very exciting. We have that on comicbook.com/thewalkingdead. I mean, you got Gotham bringing in a whole bunch of villains that look just really promising, and I mean, Mr. Freeze, you got Penguin rising up. The Flash looks awesome. I'm interested to see how they do Flashpoint on Flash. I just reread the Flashpoint comic book recently, and I mean, I know they're not going to do Thomas Wayne Batman, but I think that would be really cool if they even just gave us an Easter egg of it. But yeah, I mean, Flash and Walking Dead, I think, are top of my list. And then is Hugh Jackman coming back again? He's doing one more Wolverine. That's our last question of the day. It comes out early next year, directed by James Mangold. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I am Brandon Davis. You can call me BD. If you want to talk more, hit me up on Twitter at Brandon Davis BD. Thanks so much for watching Comic Book Nation. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.